Hello, friends, and welcome back to Scaling Stories. So before I begin, I want to give a quick thank you to everyone who has left kind comments about my voiceovers and speech. I've always been kind of insecure about my speech since the nerve damage happened, but seeing all the supportive comments have made me a lot more confident and happy in reading it myself. And even though I still flub some sentences, and sometimes it's so terrible that I have to do several retakes on it, I'm still really happy to do it now. Alrighty, so with that out of the way, I've got some more highly upvoted posts from Best of Redditor updates for you all. Like always, I'll be reading you the posts and giving you my opinions, and I'll also be working on building up my Forever World at the same time, so I hope you enjoy. Also, I'm currently only in Spotify's creator program, so watching on there would help me out a ton. Thank you so much for your support. Today's first story comes from the Relationships subreddit. It was posted by GreedyFriends on November 24th, 2015, and was titled, I bought tickets to a concert and my sister wants to give her ticket to her friend, who I dislike. I, 26 female, bought tickets to see Band of Awesome, not a real band, because my sister, Carol, 26 female, absolutely loves them. I saved up money so we could go and told her about it. We both picked a date that works for us. I have the tickets in my possession. I never told Carol they were a present for her. I said I had tickets and would like her to come. If she could not, then Joe would be coming with me. Joe, 25 male, is my boyfriend of 5 years. Recently, I got a message from Carol's friend, Missy, 24 female. I don't like Missy very much. She lives really far away, has a kid, and doesn't want to ever spend money. She will demand you buy her beer and then never offer to get the next round. She tried to make my friend's birthday about her, so I have told Carol I do not want Missy coming to events where I will be. I just don't like greedy people who make drama about dumb things. I told her where the information was listed for the show, but said it was likely sold out in our area. Missy then asked if I was taking back the invite and that I needed to give her the information for the plan. I told her I had no idea what she was talking about. I was going with Carol. I was so confused. I asked what she was talking about. Pretty much, the gist was, Missy is obsessed with Band of Awesome and has always wanted to go see them. She has a kid, so cannot afford to go. So, my sister, being the kind soul she is, offered her own ticket to Missy without asking me. I called Carol and told her what was going on. She said yes, she gave her ticket to Missy. According to her, I cannot take back the tickets because it would be cruel. Missy would also need a ride, someone to pay for her food and all this other stuff. Will cost about $250 originally. With Missy, would push $400 because she lives so far away. The concert is in another state and all this other stuff. I don't know how to let my sister know this is not okay. I don't intend to take Missy with me, and how I am really hurt she turned this into a way to make her friend feel special while making me feel like crap. How do I do this? Scaling Stories Corner. Nah, Carol's got me so messed up. If I was OP, I think I would straight up tell Carol that there is literally no world where Missy is ever getting that ticket, and that if she doesn't go, I'm for sure taking my boyfriend. I would also say that if we do end up going to the show together, I would be the one scanning our tickets in. And if she tries to come to the show and tries to swap out with Missy, then I'm going in alone. And depending on how slighted I feel, maybe I would go lowish contact or something after that. I mean, I would hate to do that to someone I care about, but maybe I wouldn't really care about Carol that much if she tried to pull one over me like that, you know? And I think it's really messed up that she knows for a fact that OP doesn't like Missy, yet she tried to give the ticket to Missy and tried to guilt trip OP into like not being able to take the ticket back because it's like somehow cruel. Like, absolutely not. And regardless if Carol decides to go to the show or not, I think that would be the legit last time I tried to do something nice for said sibling, because that's a slap in the face towards OP's kindness. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, "How terribly rude and hurtful of your sister. A gift like this isn't like a normal physical gift. Part of the present is the shared experience. I would wait until I was calm and then call your sister. Tell her that her actions hurt and offended you, and that you never offered or agreed to take someone you barely know to a concert, all expenses paid. If your sister doesn't want to go to this concert with you, then that's fine. She's an adult and can make her own choices. But deciding what to do with your money and time is disrespectful and crazy. Tell her that it is not your responsibility to clear things up with Missy. Your sister made that mess, and she can deal with it. It's definitely not your responsibility to pay extra money for a stranger to enjoy a good time. I would end by saying how disappointed you are, and would ask that, in the future, she needs to consult with you before making offers on your behalf. And then I would never buy her a concert ticket ever again. OP says, yeah, it hurts because we have always been concert buddies. It just makes me think about the other rude things she has done, which were small and easily overlooked. It just shows me Carol is changing. It makes me really sad she picks people like Missy over her own sister's comfort. I'm really close with my family, and I just feel like this is something a child would do. Commenter 2 says, I also would like to know what happened at your friend's birthday. OP says, it's dumb. Be prepared for a level of stupid that only comes from brain-dead space slugs. My friend had a big party. Carol brought Missy. No problem. The more, the merrier. Only, Missy brought her effing baby to the party, where people were getting drunk. Missy then proceeded to complain that the music was too loud, that people were getting too wild, and that she needed someone to watch the baby because she deserved to have a night to relax. She culminated the night by 1. Changing the baby in my friend's bedroom and leaving the diaper in her trash can. 2. Talking about the baby to everyone and getting upset no one wanted to watch the kid while she got drunk. 3. Started crying during happy birthday because she was too drunk to focus. 4. Throwing up on her porch. Update 10 days later. I solved the issue by returning the tickets and picking a more local show. There are no tickets to the show anymore. Argument over. Carol contacted me and asked about the show. I told her the plans had changed. I needed the money for some bills. Local show tickets and some beers. Urgent bills. I lied, but it seemed easier than just going off on her about Missy. I didn't want to end my sistership with Carol, since she is my sister and not usually an idiot. She offered to buy the tickets from me, which would have solved the issue a lot earlier, but whatever. I told her they were already gone. Since you didn't want to go, I didn't see the need to keep the tickets. So I sold them, paid some bills, and now I am seeing Band of Gothic Awesome with Joe. She apologized and said she didn't mean to put me out. Missy had been pressuring her to be a better auntie to her child of evil. WTF? Carol had gotten carried away and agreed to babysit the kid while Missy attended the concert to bond. I told Carol I was hurt, felt used, and would be attending all future events and concerts with Joe from now on. That in the future, I hoped she would keep her word to me and not use me in a drama game. I said it as nicely as I could, but I felt like crap, and you could hear that in my voice. Joe said I sounded like someone died. He was in the same room with me for support. It did feel like someone died. I now won't trust my sister as much. I told Carol I would talk to her at Christmas, but I need a break. It's 3 weeks of no contact, but I feel I need that to deal with this. I feel betrayed, hurt, and used. Carol sounded like she was crying, said she understood, and hung up. I also sent Missy a text letting her know about the change of plans, just to get everything right in the world. Missy, just to let you know, the concert tickets have been sold. I am not going to be taking you anywhere. Carol made that promise without asking me. I don't actually like hanging out with you, so if Carol makes a promise that involves me, it likely was just her trying to be nice. Do not contact me again. Also, if I host an event, you are not invited there either. Merry Christmas. Which might have been bitchy, but I'm totally done with Missy. She is always rude, always nasty. I just don't need her thinking I would go with what Carol promised. I blocked her number, so she likely replied back like a snark shark, but that is not my problem. I hope her bitching at Carol is enough to make Carol rethink the friendship. ScalingStories Corner. Yeah, no. Absolutely, I'm with OP here. I would be so friggin' disappointed in my sister that she tried to pull that crap over me. I think OP's reaction is pretty reasonable here. 3 weeks of no contact should be pretty serious if they were pretty close before this. And I really do hope that Carol opened her eyes and realized that Missy isn't a good friend to keep around. Like, let's think about this for a second. How terrible do you think you have to be as a person to guilt trip someone you claim to be your friend, to babysit your child, and also take their event ticket at the same freaking time? Like, I can't even fathom it. That is just too wrong to do to someone else. And the fact that Missy did it to Carol says a lot about herself. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, I think there's one thing you forgot to say to Carol, which was that you had been really looking forward to seeing the show with her, your sister. You made these plans together. It would have been nice. There's love behind all that hurt. I hope you two can hug it out over Christmas. OP says, that was kind of one of those unsaid things. I love going to concerts with Carol. Commenter 2 says, wish I had the balls to tell someone, I don't actually like hanging out with you, straight out. OP says, I usually have tiny little balls, but I really dislike Missy. OP says to another commenter, I don't care if Missy makes drama. She lives far enough away. I won't see her. I don't go to events for Carol's friend group most of the time because I have my own group. I understand people wanted me to be nice, but I know my sister and I know what works. This is how most of our fights go. One of us lays it out, we have a break, and then we talk. In 3 weeks, we are going to likely have a shouting match, then laugh it out. As for Missy, I never want to see her again. I dislike/hate her and would be happy if she never darkened my doorstep again. My sister is free to be friends with her, but I am not going to pretend she has some redeemable quality I like. I told her the truth. I told her how it was, and now she knows. Who cares if she thrives off it? OP says to another commenter, I could have, but it wouldn't have worked out in a way I was satisfied with. I don't like to hurt my sister, but Missy is a bad influence, and this is not the first time Carol has thought about using others to seem kind. Not that Carol is a bad person, but sometimes the best intentions can cause huge issues. I have tried to do a lot of the things people suggested, being nice about it, having little talks. I am not even really pissed at Carol. I just need Carol to think I am. She needs to realize that, while not an issue right now, Missy will cause her to lose people in her life. Okay, friends, so that concludes our first story of the day. Next up, we have a story from the Am I the Jerk subreddit. It was posted by OnlyVideo78 on March 31st, 2024, and was titled, Am I the Jerk for sleeping with a guy after the man I thought was my boyfriend said we were not a couple? We have been seeing each other for a year, and everything looked and seemed like we are a couple. He said he loved me, and I loved him. He spends every weekend with me, and we have planned our first trip together, etc. Last weekend, he was in bed, and I made him pancakes because his birthday was on Tuesday. He was very happy about it and joked that I was spoiling him. I said that I wanted to spoil my man. He said, I am not your man, with the same energy. He didn't seem awkward nor embarrassed, just as calm with a smile on his stupid face. I didn't take it seriously and said, yeah, I know you are not my man. He was more serious now and said, no, really, I am not your boyfriend. I felt literally sick, but I tried to be calm, and I asked, so what are we? He said, I don't know, really great friends with benefits? I didn't say anything after that, and he ate his pancakes in silence. Later, he asked if we would do anything. I said that I was planning on cleaning and doing some paperwork. He left after an hour. I ran to the bathroom to be sick, and I probably cried for a solid 2 hours. I couldn't keep anything in my stomach the rest of the day. He texted that evening, thanking me for the breakfast in bed, and that he thought I was amazing, but I didn't answer, so he called a few times. I didn't answer. Around 10 p.m., he rang on my door. I opened it ajar and pretended I was sick with the flu and was going to bed. He offered to stay the night in case I needed help during the night, and I said no. I didn't answer him Sunday or Monday, and I didn't wish him a happy birthday on Tuesday either, and I have just been keeping it to short texts, feigning sickness. He never brought up what he said once. Then, yesterday, he wrote that he missed me and that he hadn't gone this long without talking to me since we met, and that he was going mad. He asked if we could at least have dinner. I said that I was very busy. He said, "Don't you miss me?" I said that I was very tired because I was out all night with a guy last night, so I just wanted to relax by myself this evening. He stopped answering. He showed up 15 minutes later, asking me if I was lying. I wasn't. I told him that we weren't a couple, so I was free to do whatever. He said that I broke his heart and cheated on him, and I am an a-hole. I waited for him to leave before I started crying. He is right. We have never had the talk, actually, and I never asked him what we were. I just assumed because I loved him, and I thought he did too. But now I know we aren't together. Why was he upset that I slept with another man yesterday? Was I the a-hole? Was it cheating? Scaling Stories Corner. Oh man, oh man. I mean, that's a situationship situation if I've ever seen one. Personally, I don't think I would be happy in a situationship because I'd be afraid of something like this happening. Like, what do you mean we can spend an entire year doing intimate things together and we're not even a couple? So, yeah, for me personally, I'm either in a committed relationship or single. And of course, that wouldn't mean we'd have to be in a committed relationship after a single date, but definitely not this no-label situationship that's happening here. But yeah, OP is definitely not the jerk in this situation, and it's pretty hilarious that this guy even threw out the cheating word when he said himself that they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. If they're not boyfriend and girlfriend, then how could OP have ever cheated on him? The answer is that she simply couldn't have, because she's single. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, "Not the jerk. He wants you to be tied to him, but he wants to be free to play the field. I would have told him, the moment he said he didn't see himself as your boyfriend, that I was not looking for a friends with benefits situation, and the relationship is over." OP says, "I felt sick and couldn't speak, but yeah, I get what you mean." Commenter 2 says, "Did he explain how you can cheat if you aren't in a relationship? Obviously not the jerk." OP says, "He didn't explain. He never spoke about his chilling comment again. Sometimes I doubt myself that he actually said that, or I had dreamt it because he never mentioned what he told me again. This whole week has been a haze because of how devastated I was by his words." Commenter 3 says, "Absolutely not the jerk. He didn't just stop at saying you weren't together, that he wasn't your boyfriend. He even said you were a great friends with benefits. That is so extremely insulting if he's going to act like you're exclusive. Bet he only expected you to be loyal and not him. He wants a girlfriend and a relationship without committing. What an a-hole." OP says, "Thank you. I will not be his friends with benefits. I can be that with other people that I don't love." Update 1 month later. So yeah, my really great friend with benefits has made it official with a girl he met 2 weeks ago at his sister's wedding. His sister called me crying and apologizing from her honeymoon. I was confused. She said, "Oh, I thought you saw it." So, he has been sharing on Instagram and Instagram stories with this new girl, calling her his girlfriend. I have him muted on my Instagram, so I have not been seeing his feed or stories. Sure enough, I went to his account and he has been sharing daily pictures with his new girlfriend. Anyway, his sister wanted me to know that she has no hand in this because she loved me and was sad that things ended between her brother and me. I thanked her and told her that she should enjoy her honeymoon and not to bother with adults making dumb decisions. I thought I might share this with you guys as an update, especially for those who called me the a-hole on my original post, told me that I should have communicated better and had the talk, and felt sorry for my really great friend with benefits. Now, I can tell you that you don't need to be sorry for him. He is communicating just fine with his girlfriend. Scaling Stories Corner. Dang, that is actually crazy. I'm wondering if he really only met this girl at his sister's wedding, or if he knew her beforehand and the sister just thinks that they met at her wedding. Because 2 weeks seems like a really small amount of time for him to be suddenly jumping into another relationship. And this time he made it like official. But yeah, that sucks for OP that she thought she was in love with this guy, and this guy didn't see OP as anything more than a convenient person to hook up with. I guess we can all take that as a lesson to avoid situationships before it completely breaks your heart and wastes your time like this. And of course, I know that there are some people out there who have turned situationships into actual relationships. I just think that it's probably better to label it as a committed relationship with each other if you actually like each other after a reasonable amount of time, of course, so you don't get dragged into this 1 year plus time wasting BS. Now, here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "So, you thought you had a boyfriend for over a year? Did he say, 'I love you' ever? So, a couple days after your post, he found a new girl? Have you talked with him since your first post? I guess he's not even a friend with benefits. Now he's just somebody that you used to know. Glad the trash took itself out." OP says, "Basically, 2 weeks after we broke up, yeah. I was supposed to be his +1 to the wedding, but I declined. No, I have not talked to him in person. He has texted me a couple of times." Commenter 2 says, "A swinging pendulum because of what happened with you. Total rebound. Guaranteed, this is because he's feeling hurt and upset and sorry for himself about what happened. Probably hard to see it right now, but this is a blessing in disguise. This is not a reflection of how he wouldn't commit to you. It's a reflection of his maturity level. Whenever you doubt that, remember how he went running to your door and told you he was heartbroken. That behavior is the demonstration of his real feelings." OP says, "You're so right. I'm just so ashamed I got caught up in this mess, and for a whole year." Okay, friends, so that concludes our second story of the day. Next up, we have a story from the relationships subreddit. It was posted by former bully12 on October 2nd, 2016, and was titled, "I, 25 male, bullied my sister's 22 female, new boyfriend, 25 male, back in school. I messaged him apologizing for what I'd done and to clear the air. He said no. Now my sister has turned against me. What can I do?" I'll start with this. I was a dick as a teenager. I'm from the UK, and from the ages of around 14 to 16, I hung around in a gang. I did it because I was popular. I would get invited to parties. Girls would like me. Whatever other reason a teenage kid would hang out in a gang, basically. We were basically a group of jerks to certain people. I don't think we were worse to anyone more than Stuart, though, sister's new boyfriend. We were horrible to him, and we were typical school bullies to the guy. Once I turned 18 and got away from all the bad influences who I'd been told for years were holding me down, I realized I had been a dick, and most of the others in the gang were too. I still speak to a couple of people, but most of them were cut off, and quite frankly, I'm embarrassed of my actions when I was younger. My sister, Jane, went to a different school as, by that point, she/my parents had seen that my school wasn't exactly the best, considering the crowd I got mixed up in. I don't know if Stuart knew I had a sister or not, in all honesty. I've recently moved back to my hometown and met up with my sister for a drink. She told me about her new boyfriend, and I told her, when she mentioned his name, the truth, that I was a dick to him, so if she's dating him, I'll apologize because I feel bad for my actions. She agreed and told me to just message him on Facebook, and he'll be fine. So I did as she said and wrote a very long message about how I'm happy for him and my sister, how I am very sorry for what I did in the past, explained that I know I'll never know how I made him feel, but I'm genuine here and don't want any issues with him. He replied, saying that I'm a dick, doesn't accept my apology, and blocks me. I thought, fair enough, I tried. I'll try again at a later date when he might be more open to the idea. But I get it, he doesn't trust me. To him, I'm the dick who bullied him for years. My sister phoned me not long after and started shouting at how horrible I was as a teenager and that she'll never forgive me for what I did to her boyfriend. She listed some things off that he told her. Some of them I admitted to doing/being there when it happened. Some of them I didn't do but had heard about them. And some accusations I'd never had anything to do with/ever heard of them happening. I feel for Stuart and want to sort this out with them, for not only feeling bad for doing it, but also to save my relationship with my sister. ScalingStories Corner. Well, yeah, that's just life for OP, right? He might be reformed as a person now, but he was previously a massive bully to others, and no matter how much he acts good now, the actions that he did in the past cannot be changed. I don't blame Stuart for not accepting OP's apology, and OP doesn't list out exactly what happened to Stuart, but he says that he and his gang treated him the worst out of everyone. So I can only imagine that they did some heinous crap that left this poor guy traumatized. And in no world does this guy ever have to accept an apology from OP, no matter how sincere OP is. I actually feel kind of bad for OP's sister because about her relationship, because I don't think it'll last if the damage and trauma that Stuart has from OP is that large, because then he'll never really be happy in a relationship with OP's sister. And that's because she has such a close tie to someone who absolutely ruined his life. And what do you even do as the sister at that point? Do you cut contact with your brother to show your partner that they matter more? Do you still maintain a relationship with your brother and maybe that hurts your partner? It's like a super messed up situation to be in. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, if a police officer had seen some of the things you did to Stuart, would you have ended up being arrested? If the answer is yes, then I don't see why he ever has to forgive you. OP says, not me personally, no. My friendship group, maybe, aka stuff I wasn't involved in. Commenter 2 says, because I get it, he doesn't trust me. To him, I'm the dick who bullied him for years. I don't think it's just that though. You probably did this on a daily basis to this guy for years, and you won't even mention the things you did. He's probably still messed up from it. You did the right thing apologizing, but only did it because your sister started dating him. That comes across funny to me if I was Stuart. You made the gesture of apologizing, but just now give him space. Commenter 3 says, having been in Stuart's situation, the best thing I can think of for you is to wait 4 to 5 months and give them total space. Then, when he sees you are not antagonistic towards him anymore, invite them both for a game of pool or something innocuous. You're going to hear him vent. Let him. He will need it. When his anger calms down, he will either accept you or at least be okay around you. Don't expect to be best buddies. Update 3 days later. I have to repost this once again since the link wasn't in the original update post. I can't see my original update post anymore, so this will basically be the same but written out differently. People were asking what me/my friends did to Stuart at school, so here's some examples of what I did personally to him. Put items in the local newspaper for sale, with his mobile number as the contact number. Ordered numerous takeaway deliveries to his house. Named him after a farm animal. Told the girl he was crushing on all the stuff he had written about her in his notebook. I never did anything physically to him because, at the time, I was being physically assaulted by my mother's boyfriend at the time. This is why I started training in boxing and started lifting weights around this age, to become bigger and stronger to stand up for myself. I always said that I wouldn't harm anyone physically. My friend tied him to a post, stole things, hit him, etc., and I refused to take part in them, as I saw it as too far. But, at the same time, I didn't realize the mental aspects of bullying were just as bad, if not worse. On to the update. I saw Stuart in a local pub last night that I went to with my friends. He originally didn't say anything, and I decided to give him some space because I was advised in the original to leave him alone. When he started getting more drunk, he started making more comments, obviously intended to be heard by me. We both smoke, and we were both outside when he started berating me for my fake apology. I told him it wasn't fake. I meant it, that I have changed as a person, and that was me as a 15-year-old kid who thought he was cool. The 25-year-old me is embarrassed by that. He said he didn't believe me and would love to deck me right there and then. I told him, if he wants to hit me, do it. I'd probably deserve it. At this point, I'm outnumbered 3-1, as my 2 friends are still inside. Stuart hits me, and the other 2 surround me, and even though I'm a big guy who is a trained fighter, it doesn't take a genius to work out that 3 guys versus 1 usually doesn't work out well for the 1. Luckily, my friends had heard the noise and got involved to break it up before I got any serious damage. The pub owners then told us to leave, or they'd be involving the police, so we waited till they left and went out the back way to my friend's house. My sister phoned me whilst I was there, telling me that Stuart had said that I had tried to start a fight with him, and he put me in my place. I told her, no, Stuart tried to start a fight with me. I told him, if hitting me would help things, do it. I get hit every week in boxing practice. I'm used to it. My friends told her the story of what actually happened, and she wasn't happy. She phoned me again today. Now yesterday in the UK and told me Stuart admitted what had happened and how he wanted him and his friends to hospitalize me. She dumped him because she was scared for mine/her safety. My message that I included in the last post at the end caused some controversy, but I'll repeat it. If you are a teenager who's bullying another kid or whatever reason, to look cool, to make yourself feel better, or whatever else, please stop. You could be partially the reason someone's life could change for the worse. I don't know if Stuart had other problems, but the bullying we did seems to have affected him a lot more than I thought, and I hope to never make anyone feel like that again. Scaling Stories Corner. Nah, that is just not okay. I mean, the stuff OP did to Stuart in school is most definitely bullying, and I am in no way saying that didn't cause any harm to Stuart, but I think the things that OP listed that his friends did were actually so much more messed up. And I'm going to relist some of them here. He said his friends would tie Stuart to a post, hit him, steal from him, and etc. What is the etc.? I don't really know, but it can't possibly be good. And I think that's actually so crazy for teenagers to be doing to another person. Like, where are the parents? What kind of people are raising these kind of kids? And I feel like even though OP didn't do those things directly, Stuart may have tied OP to it because he was part of the gang and did other bullying things too. But I don't think OP deserved to get beat up 1v3 for all of that. I think OP was trying to repent in a way by letting Stuart hit him, but in what world are the two other randoms jumping in and trying to take him down too? OP was willing to just lie down and take it all because of how bad he felt. And if his friend didn't come break it up, then I think OP would have got sent to the hospital, or who knows, maybe something even worse. Maybe Stuart and his friends slip up and hit OP in the wrong spot at the wrong angle. I think I would have wanted to press charges on the other two at least, because even if OP wanted Stuart to get even with him, those other two people did not have any business jumping OP like that. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "Mate, that's really full on, and I'm sorry this story didn't have a happy ending. Good for you for realizing the impact of what you'd done and apologizing. Think of yourself as a cautionary tale. You can feel bad about what you did, but that doesn't mean your apology will be accepted, or that you can change what happened. All you can do is acknowledge how things are now and promise yourself that you'll be a better person going forward." Commenter 2 says, "At least you learned how bullying affects people. I guess it's good your sister broke up with him, though. He was too violent." Commenter 3 says, "Hopefully, this can serve as a lesson for all of us. You can apologize for bad behavior, but you don't have a right to be forgiven. I do think that you've done the right thing in offering a genuine apology, but sadly, that can't always fix things. I hope that you can carry on being a better person than you were as a 15-year-old, and maybe now forgive yourself for being a bully back then. It sounds like you learned not to be one in future. Thank you for sharing your story, and I wish you good luck." Okay, friends, so that concludes today's video. Leave a like and comment down below to let me know what you thought of it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.